Welcome to the abyss, where shadows dance and truth is stranger than fiction. Tonight, we explore three terrifying true tales. From a lonely bus stop in Australia to a deadly obsession in India, these stories remind us evil is everywhere. Our first harrowing tale takes us to a quiet morning in Australia, where silence hides a predator waiting to strike. The morning air was biting cold as 14-year-old Nick stood alone at the bus stop, shivering in the mist. It was too early for the usual crowd, leaving him exposed and vulnerable in the eerie silence of the dawn. He checked his watch repeatedly, hoping to see the familiar yellow bus emerge from the thick fog to save him. Instead of the bus, a battered white van rolled slowly out of the mist, its engine growling like a beast. Nick felt a knot tighten in his stomach as the vehicle idled across the street, lurking like a dark shadow. The window rolled down slowly, revealing a man whose eyes locked onto Nick with an intensity that froze his blood. He said absolutely nothing, just staring with a predatory gaze, his fingers tapping a silent rhythm on the steering wheel. Nick instinctively stepped back, gripping his backpack straps tightly, praying for anyone to appear and break this terrifying standoff. A twisted smile slowly spread across the stranger's face, sending a chill down Nick's spine that was colder than winter. Panic set in as the van began to turn around, positioning itself on Nick's side of the desolate, empty road. He looked for an escape route, but the high fences and open fields offered no shelter from the approaching danger. The vehicle pulled up right beside him, and the sliding door began to creak open, revealing a dark, empty interior. Inside the van, Nick glimpsed plastic sheeting covering the floor, a sight that screamed danger and confirmed his worst fears. The driver leaned over, his voice dripping with false kindness as he insisted Nick get in to escape the cold. Frozen in terror, Nick shook his head violently, unable to find his voice, his heart pounding against his ribs like a drum. The man's smile vanished, replaced by anger as he unbuckled his seatbelt, preparing to force the boy into the van. Just as the predator prepared to strike, blinding lights flooded the scene, and the roar of a diesel engine saved him. The massive school bus screeched to a halt behind the van, the driver honking aggressively, sensing something was very wrong. Spooked by the witness, the stranger slammed his door and sped away, disappearing back into the mist like a ghost. Nick stumbled onto the bus, collapsing into his seat, realizing with horror how close he had come to vanishing forever. Our next story takes us from the cold mist to a sunny garden, where safety is just an illusion shattered. Laughter filled the air as a group of friends played tag, completely unaware that they were being watched from afar. Hidden behind the fence, a pair of eyes tracked their every move, calculating and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. One of the girls paused, a strange feeling washing over her as she cast a nervous glance toward the garden perimeter. There he stood, a dark figure pressing against the wood, his face obscured by a hat, watching with intense silence. He raised a hand, beckoning them closer, displaying a bag of colorful candy like a fisherman casting a deadly hook. Curiosity pulled them forward, but an instinctual fear held them back as they whispered nervously about the stranger's odd behavior. His voice was smooth and practiced, offering compliments and sweets, trying to bridge the gap between safety and danger. Just as one child reached out, the oldest girl grabbed his arm, sensing the malice hidden beneath the sugary offer. The mask slipped, and the man lunged forward, thrusting his hand through the gap in a desperate attempt to grab them. Screams erupted as the children turned and fled, sprinting toward the safety of the house while the man cursed loudly. Safe inside, they poured out the terrifying story to their parents. Their innocent playdate turned into a nightmare encounter. The parents rushed outside, scanning the perimeter, but the mysterious figure had vanished into thin air, leaving no trace. Desperate for answers, they checked the neighbor's security camera, hoping the electronic eye had captured what human eyes had missed. The footage revealed a chilling truth. The predator had been lurking in the bushes, watching them for over an hour. Police identified the man immediately, a known predator who used candy and charm to lure unsuspecting children away forever. Justice was swift as authorities apprehended him, ensuring he could never again turn a peaceful garden into a hunting ground. Our final and most disturbing story takes us to India, where greed and obsession tear a family apart from within. Meet Swathi, a young woman whose desire for material wealth far outweighed her love for the family who raised her. Her obsession began with a demand for the latest smartphone, a request denied by parents who valued discipline over indulgence. Her parents stood firm, refusing to cater to her whims, unaware that their parenting would trigger a deadly, vengeful rage. Consumed by spite, Swathi retreated to her room, her mind twisting with a plan to punish those who denied her. She staged a dramatic scene, poisoning herself slightly to frame her own mother for attempted murder and domestic abuse. Her lies were convincing, and the police dragged her weeping mother away, leaving Swathi triumphant in her empty, broken home. With her mother gone, she felt no guilt, only satisfaction. But her thirst for control and revenge was not yet quenched. When her mother was eventually released, the tension in the house became suffocating, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Swathi decided that simple lies were not enough. She needed a permanent solution to remove her parents from her life. Under the cover of darkness, she sabotaged the family car, cutting the brake lines to ensure a catastrophic and fatal accident. The next morning, she watched with a cold smile as her parents drove away, unknowingly heading towards their doom. Panic ensued on the highway as the brakes failed, turning the vehicle into a runaway missile hurtling towards destruction. The crash was violent and devastating, leaving the car a twisted wreck of metal and shattering the family forever. Investigators quickly discovered the severed brake lines, realizing this was no accident, but a calculated act of cold-blooded murder. Swathi played the grieving daughter, sobbing for the police, but her inconsistent stories began to raise serious suspicions. Forensic evidence tightened the noose around her, revealing her fingerprints on the tools used to sabotage the vehicle. Cornered by the truth, she confessed, revealing a soul completely consumed by greed and devoid of any human empathy. As the prison bars slammed shut, Swathi was left with nothing but the cold realization of her monstrous actions. 3 stories, 3 different kinds of horror, proving that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the people around us. Nick grew up carrying the weight of that morning, knowing that a few seconds' delay would have changed everything. The white van remains a ghost in his memories, a symbol of the darkness that waits on the edge of town. The children in the garden learned a hard lesson that day. Innocence is precious, and trust must be earned. Their parents built higher fences, but the emotional walls they built to protect their children were even stronger. Swathi spends her days in silence, haunted by the family she destroyed for gadgets that are now long obsolete. Her family home stands empty and decaying, a crumbling monument to a daughter's greed and a family's tragic end. These true stories serve as a chilling warning that safety is never guaranteed, and evil wears many different faces. Whether it is a stranger in a van or a stalker in the bushes, always trust your instincts, and be wary of those closest to you, for sometimes the knife comes from the hand you hold. The world is full of shadows, and within them lie stories that are far more terrifying than any fiction. We close the book on these tales for now, but remember that the next chapter is being written right now. As you go about your life, pay attention to the details, for the devil is always in the details. If you enjoyed these true horror stories, make sure to subscribe and join our community of the brave. Hit the like button if you want to see more content that will keep you awake late at night. Share your own scary experiences in the comments below. Perhaps your story will be the next one we tell. We read every single comment, looking for the darkest gems hidden in the experiences of our loyal viewers. The night is long and full of terrors, but you do not have to face the darkness all alone. Stay tuned for our next upload, where we will dive even deeper into the abyss of human depravity. Time is running out and the shadows are lengthening, so lock your doors and check your windows tonight. Thank you for spending your time in the deep, dark depths, where reality is often scarier than any nightmare. Sleep well tonight, but remember to keep one eye open for the shadows that move when you blink. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never let your guard down in this unpredictable world. This is Deep Dark Depths, signing off, leaving you with the silence of the night to keep you company. Don't forget to look under your bed before you sleep. You never know what might be hiding there. Credits are rolling now, acknowledging the brave souls who shared their traumatic stories with the world today. These clippings are real proof that the monsters we talk about are not just figments of our imagination. Nick eventually moved away from that town, seeking peace by the ocean, far away from the misty roads. The neighborhood came together to ensure that no child would ever be threatened in their own backyard again. Justice may be slow, but it eventually caught up with Swathi, locking her away from the society she betrayed. Like this candle, life is fragile and can be extinguished by the dark winds of fate at any moment. Millions of lights in the city, and behind every window lies a story waiting to be told. Some stories are of love and joy, while others are steeped in blood and darkness, like the ones today. We unlock these secrets not to scare you, but to prepare you for the harsh realities of the world. Listen closely to the whispers of the past, for they carry the warnings that can save your future. Human nature is fragile, cracking under pressure like a mirror, revealing the jagged edges of our dark souls. The dead cannot speak, so we must tell their stories to ensure they are never forgotten by the living. Beauty fades and life ends, but the impact of our actions echoes through eternity like a haunting melody. Guardians of the night patrol the streets, but they cannot be everywhere at once, so you must be vigilant. Secure your home, for the barrier between safety and danger is often as thin as a pane of glass. Americans often sense evil before we do, so listen when they warn you of an unseen presence nearby. Invisible forces are at play, reminding us that we are guests in a world we do not fully understand. When the lights go out, fear creeps in, but knowledge and awareness are your best weapons against the dark. Avoid lonely roads and isolated places, for they are the hunting grounds of those who wish you harm. Technology can fail you when you need it most, so always have a backup plan for your safety. Let these stories be a reminder to cherish your loved ones, for they can be taken in an instant. The rain washes away the evidence, but the scars on the survivors' souls will remain forever etched in time. Dawn brings a new day, but the memories of the night linger like a ghost in the morning mist. Is this truly the end, or just the beginning of another nightmare waiting to unfold in your own life? Click on one of these videos to continue your journey into the macabre world of true horror stories. Join our growing community of horror enthusiasts and never miss a story that will chill you to the bone. A special thanks to the brave individuals who submitted these stories, allowing us to learn from their terrifying experiences. This has been a production of Deep Dark Depths, dedicated to bringing the shadows to light for your entertainment. Thank you for watching Deep Dark Depths. Sleep well tonight, but remember to keep one eye open for the shadows.